Joining us now from Tribune Tower is jazz bass player Frank Russell. Hey, those in the industry know him as Rocky. Welcome to Gerard McClendon Live. How's it going this evening?
Very good, Gerard. Great to be here.
That's good. Hey, jazz in Chicago, it's a staple. You know, are there plenty of places to hear the only great American art form around Chicago, Mr. Russell?
Yes, there's still places. You got Andy's on Hubbard Street. I'll be there in April. You got, of course, the legendary Jazz Showcase. You got Pete Miller's, Green Dolphin Street. List goes on and on. It's not as many as there were in the 80s and 90s, but you can still make a decent living in Chicago.
You know, and I've seen you play live, and it's phenomenal. Let's go back to the beginning, though, man. Let's rewind the tape. How did you get started playing bass guitar?
Well, it's a story that a lot of people have told probably, but believe it or not, I saw the Beatles. And I know your brother is with me on that too, Dwayne. About 1963, I'm kind of telling my age here, but it just struck me to see those guitars, and I asked my father to buy me a guitar, and he did. And it's been going great ever since.
Yeah, you know, it's nothing like watching Paul McCartney play that bass, man.
That's right.
In those old Beatles films, man. You know, what fascinates you about music, Frank? I mean, you know, you've been playing all these years, man, and so there has to be a fascination with music because it takes a long time to master an instrument. What is it that's fascinating?
Well, I believe my father said he used to play music, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, to my mother's belly. So I think I came out swinging.
Yeah.
I think just growing up in that kind of environment and going to your parents' house and hearing his great reel-to-reel player, which I want to thank you for deciding to give me that monumental present.
Yeah, it's very well deserved, man. You know, what other instruments have you tried,
well,
Rocky? You know, just bass guitar or other instruments?
No, well, my first guitar was a guitar. My first instrument was a guitar. Then I went to the drum set. Then in high school, I had a girlfriend who they needed a bass player for her band.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old, and they said, "Can you play bass?" And I'm like, "Sure." It's less strings than it's 6, so I should be right. And I had to learn like 30 songs in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's been going good ever since.
You know, I was listening to Georgie Porgy earlier, and I was also listening to, let me find the song here, Future Excursions, man. That music is beyond, man, and I definitely admonish people to go out and check you out. You know, Rocky, let's talk about the hustle, man. Do you sit back and wait for people to call you? Do you wait to get booked? How do you market yourself as a jazz bassist, and how do you market yourself as a band to get noticed?
Well, fortunately, I've been playing so long and get such a reputation, a good reputation that I play all genres of music that I get called all the time. And fortunately, since the record's been out, I've been doing a lot on my own, with my own band, playing some jazz festivals and you know, so that's kind of how I keep going.
Hey, covering all bases, you know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody wants to know, though, for who Frank Russell is. Who is this guy? He's been on stage with, he's been on albums, he's been on stage. With whom have you been on stage with? Name some of the more famous ones.
I've been on stage with Ramsey Lewis. I did a 6-year stint with the South African group Ladysmith Black Mambazo at the Kennedy Center, Steppenwolf Theater. I've recorded with Freddie Hubbard. I played with the legendary Ken Chaney, who's from Chicago, and of course Henry Johnson.
Wow.
And your brother and I, Dwayne, used to take lessons together at 7 years old.
It's a small world. And see, here's the deal. I would call Frank Russell my favorite bass player, but that would be remiss. So see, I have to call you my favorite bass player in Chicago, because if I speak too soon, I have to say, oops, I also have a favorite bass player in Arizona.
That's right.
You know what would you tell youngsters, man, children, teenagers that are just starting to play an instrument? How would you get them to stick to that instrument and not drift into something else?
Well, see, that's a very hard thing these days with all the games and the computer games and the it's hard. In my day, Gerard, we didn't have all these things that you can go do and we just concentrated on the music. Now you got to kind of, I hate to say it, make your child, if he wants to play that instrument, find out if he wants to do that first. I was kind of weird. My dad couldn't get me out the house. I was practicing all the time.
Yeah.
But maybe kind of see if they want to gravitate towards that and take the Game Boys away, the Xboxes, and kind of concentrate on just playing the instrument. We've lost that art, I believe.
Okay, Frank Russell, I got to ask you a question, man, because you led me right into this. Do you think that games such as Guitar Hero and Bass Hero and DJ Hero, do you think these are inherently bad or just alternatives? Talk to me, man.
I don't think, you're going to get me in trouble here. I don't think they necessarily show you how to play an instrument. I've never played them, but I heard you just punch a key or punch a button. You just and a chord comes up. That's not how you play. You have to learn the instrument one string at a time, man. So I wouldn't, if I wanted to teach my child music, I wouldn't gravitate towards those things. I would get them a real instrument with a real instructor.
Yeah, and hey, it's just a trip to Guitar Center, and you know, bass guitars and regular guitars are pretty inexpensive now.
Right,
you know?
That's right. You can get a bass combo with the amplifier for about $200 now.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Jazz Master Frank Rocky Russell. Hey man, FrankERussell.com is the website. We can also hit you on Facebook. Frank Russell, thanks for joining us on Gerard McClendon Live tonight, my friend.
Thanks so much, man. I love you, McClendons, always.
All right, take care now. Hey, coming up next.